Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Tuesday. I hope you had a wonderful Monday yesterday, and we're going to get started with our calendar. Are you ready? Oh, and Miss Fisher fixed our number 4, so now it's in the right spot. Are you ready? Let's start with our number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. All right, so we're going to write our number 5. We're going to write it under Tuesday because today is Tuesday. That's right. So I'm going to find Tuesday, come under, write the number 5. I'm going to do a neck, a belly, and then a hat. Nice job, friends. All right, days of the week. Are you ready? Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Remember, the month is May. That's right. So when we sing our months of the year song, you're going to sing May really loud. Are you ready? Are you sure? All right. Ready? There's January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, and December. These are the months of the year. Good job, friend. You did it. Kiss your brain. You are so good at singing our songs. You're experts now. All right, so I know yesterday we talked a little bit about that when things are made from wood. Do you remember what they're called? If you said wooden, you're right. Kiss your brain. That's really good remembering. So when things are wooden, that means they're made from wood. Just like Miss Fisher showed you this pencil, it's made from wood, and wood comes from a tree. So this is called wooden when it's made from wood. Just like Miss Fisher's chairs and Miss Fisher's wooden table, it's made of wood. It comes from a tree. So, back to our question from yesterday, that these sticks are wooden. Isn't that right? They're made from wood. They come from a tree. And are these sticks living or are they non-living? They're non-living, that's right, because they're not on the tree anymore. If these sticks were connected to a branch that was on a tree in Miss Fisher's yard, and the tree is still in the ground, it still has roots, then that would be living. But since it's not on the tree anymore, it's non-living now. So our question yesterday was, how many do you think are in this jar? So the friends that gave me answers, well, we're all going to count together, and then we're going to look at the friends who gave me answers and see who got the closest. So I'm going to put this aside for right now. Are you ready to count with me? I'm going to dump them all out. And then we're going to count together. As soon as I put a stick in the jar, we say another number. So count with Miss Fisher. Count as loud as you can. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's it. Miss Fisher has how many total sticks? How many did we count? 18. That's right. That's the total number of sticks that we have in the jar. So when we write the number 18, we write it like a 1 and an 8. Remember, when we write an 8, we start like an S and then we bring it around town, right? So start at the top, make your 1, and then when you start here, start with an S and bring it around town. This is the number 18, 1 and an 8 together. So let's look at our friends' guesses and see who is the closest. Mark had the number 12. A 1 and a 2 makes it 12. Dante had the number 41. 4 and a 1 makes the number 41. Charlotte had the number 7. Logan had the number 10. A 1 and a 0 together makes it 10. And our friend Jeremy had the number 16, a 1 and a 6. That makes the number 16. Do you know which of these numbers are the closest to 18? What do you think? Think. Which number is the closest one to the number 18? That's how many total we have. Which friend got the closest guess? Miss Fisher's going to tell you. It was Jeremy. Because 16 and 18 are the closest ones when we count. Let's start from 15 and count up. Ready? 15, 16, that's Jeremy's guess, 17, 18, and that's how many we actually had in our jar. So Jeremy, our friend Jeremy, was the closest one. Nice job, Jeremy. And nice job to all the friends that guessed. You had such amazing guesses. But Jeremy was the closest. Nice job, friends. All right, so we're going to talk more about trees and how to be friends to trees in our story called Be a Friend to Trees. That's the title. Be a Friend to Trees. And the author is Patricia Lauber. That's who wrote the story and wrote the words in the story. And it's illustrated by Holly Keller. She made the pictures or drew the pictures. So here's the front cover. All right, are you ready? Oh, here's a diagram, that's a picture, of the different parts of a tree. Now this talks about the inside of a tree. Kind of like the inside of your body is your skeleton, like we talked about during the exercise study. Inside a tree trunk, here it says trunk, is a part of the trunk is the outer bark and the inner bark. So all of the lighter wood you see is the inner bark here. Here are the branches and the leaves, and the top is the crown, some twigs or sticks. So this is pretty cool. You can see the different layers. There's an outer bark and an inner bark. Trees are nice. They're nice to look at and nice to have around. And I see a little girl swinging on the swing that's attached to a tree. And I see a little boy reading a book. He's using the tree for shade. Trees are also useful. That means we can use them for lots of different things. Both people and animals need trees of all kinds, sizes, and shapes. So here are some different kinds of trees in the story. You see a sugar maple. You see an eastern white pine and a gray birch. This tree is different because what color is the trunk? It's gray, that's right. That's why it's called a gray birch. Everything that is made of wood was once part of a tree. Look around you. How many wooden things do you see? Make a list. Don't forget to count your pencil and maybe your house. Oh, and here's another kind of tree, a white oak. Paper also comes from trees. Did you know that? Wood is chopped into small pieces, mixed with chemicals, and heated. The wood softens and becomes pulp, which is used to make paper and cardboard, writing paper, books, newspapers, magazines, paper towels, cereal boxes, milk cartons, and many other things. Make another list of everything you see that is paper or cardboard. And don't forget the paper you're writing on. And here's the process of how paper is made. So first the wood chips go in the machine, and the wood chips are cooked with chemicals, and then it goes through the machine. The chips become soggy pulp. Water is drained from the pulp, and then it comes out like paper. It's dried and then flattened, and then it comes in a paper roll. Pretty cool, huh? Some trees can be tapped for their sap. Sap from different trees is used to make maple syrup. Chewing gum, soap, paint thinner, and rubber Do you like syrup on your pancakes? Well, that comes from trees. Trees are green plants, and so they make their own food. Green plants are the only living things that can do this. Other living things depend on green plants for food. Some eat parts of plants, some eat the plant eaters, and some eat both. Do you remember what a plant eater is called? That's right, a herbivore. Can you say herbivore? They eat only plants. You eat the parts of trees known as fruits and nuts. Apples, oranges, pears, cherries, peaches, walnuts, almonds, pecans, hazelnuts, and lots of others. Chocolate also comes from a tree. It is made from the seeds of cocoa trees. And here's some orange and apple and some cherries. These cherries are a little bit lighter, maybe they're not ripe yet. And a walnut. Many animals eat parts of trees. Caterpillars eat leaves. Here's another type of tree, a white ash. And this type of tree is a live oak, and I see a caterpillar. Do you see it? So do deer, they eat leaves. So do koalas. This is a eucalyptus tree. Can you say eucalyptus? An acacia tree. Can you say acacia? And so do giraffes and elephants. They eat plants as well. Porcupines eat the inner bark of trees as well as buds and twigs. So you can see a porcupine. He's munching on the inner part of the bark, the inside. Here's another type of tree, a northern red oak. There are lots of different types of trees, and I see a squirrel sitting on its branch. This is a scarlet hawthorn tree. Squirrels and chipmunks gather nuts to eat. Bees find food in the flowers of trees. They collect pollen and the sugary liquid called nectar. Birds eat seeds and fruits from trees, and those are only a few of the animals that find their food in trees. Here's another type of plant or tree down here. It's called a scarlet hawthorn, and these grow flowers, and I can see a bee there. And remember, bees get their food from flowers. In the middle here, where the yellow part is, they find their food. They collect the pollen and the sugary liquid that's called nectar. Many animals make their homes in trees. Birds roost in trees. They build nests and raise their young in trees. Squirrels nest in trees. I see a squirrel and I see two birds with nests. Monkeys live in trees. Some tree frogs spend their whole lives in trees without ever coming down. Did you know that? Miss Fisher did not know that. See, I see two tree frogs. Sometimes they don't ever come down. Honeybees make hives in tree hollows. That's kind of like the knothole of a tree. Many other insects also live in trees. So do small creatures such as spiders. I see a spider and I see two ladybugs. Deer find shelter beneath the trees of forests and woodlands. They find safe places to hide their young. The roots of trees hold soil in place. Soil is like the dirt. They keep it from washing away in heavy rains or floods of water from melting snow. A flood is when there's too much rain. When soil is held in place, water sinks into it and it is stored in the ground. Stored means to kind of save it for later. Many people depend on water that is stored underground. They draw it to the surface through wells. That helps them bring water up from the ground where it's stored or saved for later. Trees do something else that is very important. It has to do with the air that we breathe. So take a big deep breath right now. Nice job. Air is made of gases. One of them is called oxygen. It is the gas that our bodies need. It is the gas that all animals need. Each time we breathe, we take oxygen out of the air. But the supply is never used up. The reason is that trees and other green plants keep putting oxygen into the air. They give off oxygen as they make their food. That's why trees and plants are so important. They help give us air that we can breathe in, and we need to breathe to survive. Trees make food in their leaves. The leaves can be broad, like the ones you see on a maple tree. Here's a silver maple leaf. They can be narrow and pointed, like the needle-shaped leaves you see on a fir or a pine tree. Here's a pine tree. That's an evergreen, a type of evergreen tree. All these green leaves do the same work. They make food for the trees. There's lots of different shapes and sizes, and we learned that yesterday. To make food, leaves use water, which they take from the ground. Remember where it's stored? They use a gas called carbon dioxide, which they take from the air. They use sunlight as energy. With energy from the sun, green leaves put the water and carbon dioxide together. They make a kind of sugar. The making of food by plants is called photosynthesis. Can you say photosynthesis? I know it's a long word, but nice job. A word that means putting together with light. So they use photosynthesis to make a kind of sugar to make the food. Leaves use sunlight for energy. So here's the sun coming down on the tree. You see the arrow? Leaves get water from the soil. So here comes the arrow. These arrows going up means this is the water, and it comes in through the roots and it goes up the tree, so it can go throughout the whole tree. And the carbon dioxide in the air goes inside, like what this arrow is pointing to. Trees need food just to stay alive because they are living things. They also need food for growth, to make new wood, leaves, twigs, fruits, and nuts. Some of a tree's food is used right away. Some is stored for future use. While making food, leaves also make oxygen that they don't need. They get rid of it by putting it into the air. So when you see a red arrow going out, that is when they're getting rid of it. They're getting rid of the oxygen they don't need. They're taking in sunlight, they're taking in carbon dioxide and water through the stem. And then they're getting rid of oxygen they don't need. Much of the oxygen that people and animals need comes from trees. Without them, without the trees, we might not be here at all. So trees are more than nice. They're something we can't live without. And that is why everyone should be a friend to trees. And here's some hints on how to be friends to trees. It says there are lots of things you can do to be a friend to trees. Here are some, and you can see how many more you can think of. You can use less paper, and that's a great way to save trees. If you can, use a rag or a sponge or a dish towel when you clean things up instead of a paper towel, because paper towels are made of trees. So if we don't use that many paper towels, we can save trees. Take along a paper bag when you go to the supermarket, like Acme or Target or Walmart. Most bags can be used over again. No one needs new bags every time. Better yet, take your own net or canvas bag to the market. Then you won't need the store's plastic bags at all. Do you usually write only on one side of your paper? Don't throw it out. Use the other side for scrap paper. That's one way we can save trees. And recycling paper is another way to be a friend. When paper is recycled, it is shredded, mashed, washed, and made into paper again. Then we need less new paper, and that means fewer trees must be cut. Suppose all the people in the United States recycled their Sunday newspapers. That would save 500,000 trees a week. Does your family recycle? Do you help? The end. So those are some ways that we can be friends to trees. Miss Fisher loves that story so much. There's so much nice information in there, isn't there? I love it. I hope you liked it too. So I hope you enjoyed the activities that I have for you today. Tomorrow is a makeup day and I'll have a guest reader for you and some optional activities. Or you can do an activity that you liked before. Whatever you like to do. All right, and I'll post new activities on Thursday. I'll see you then. Have a wonderful day. Bye.